Holla, holla, holla.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Kyle and Corin podcast. Today I will be speaking with the white Malcolm X.
All of my shit's going in and out.
Is it the Wi-Fi or is it the
No,
headphones?
not the Wi-Fi. I think it was my. I think I unplugged my headphones.
Been there, done that.
And now the new iPhone has a USB cord that it comes with, like an adapter.
Yeah, you were talking about the headphones last time. You hate that. You wanted them to just put the earphone jack in there.
Sucks.
Yeah, I'm used to it. I never used the headphones on my old iPhone, so like me plugging it right into the thing where the charger goes in, it didn't bother me. I was like, whatever, I don't care.
Wait, you had the adapter or you didn't have the adapter?
No. So I'm talking about when I had the iPhone 4. I had an iPhone 4 forever. Because I'm that dude who doesn't like to change. Like now I have iPhone 7. I probably will get rid of it in the year 2026. And that might not be an exaggeration. So like I had iPhone 4.
When they came out with like the first like iPod?
Yeah, I had the iPod mini, like the first iPod mini.
Did you have a color one or no?
No, just the regular silver one.
Because like once they started coming out with the color ones, they first came out with the Mac computers back in the day. Remember when they had those shits? Yep. And it was like they had different colored ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got one of those, but like I think one of my friends maybe had like the turquoise one or the orange one. Those might have been the only colors they made.
For the old Mac computers?
Yeah, you remember they had like the colored computers?
Yeah, I think I do, but didn't they come in a whole bunch of different colors?
I feel like they did, but the only ones I could remember was like a turquoise blue and an orange one. I can't picture like any.
I remember the old Macs when Mac was like not even Mac yet, like the Apple computers.
Yeah, like when the keyboard was connected to the actual computer.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those. I feel like we used them back in school, like way back in the day. But
yeah, those were the ones we played like Oregon Trail and all that shit on.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I got dysentery and died. Or cholera or some shit. I had the iPhone 4 and I never used, like, I'm not that person that, like, you know, listens to podcasts. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I gotta turn that shit off.
What is your ringtone? Sounded like a old like hippopotamus or something like that.
Oh, you heard the thing?
I thought I heard like
Oh, really? I think it's just like, no, I got the normal ringtone thing, but I think it's just maybe it comes into our call like that.
Oh, maybe.
Because I got the call on my iPhone and we're talking on a Mac, and so it linked up and hit the fucking number in the corner of the screen, and I was like, what the fuck is this? But anyway, I was gonna say I had the iPhone 4. I'm not that kind of person that like usually listens to like podcasts and shit on my phone, but I just started doing that more recently. But I wasn't used to having the headphone plug that, like, I didn't use that on my iPhone 4. So for me to plug it straight into the charger port thing didn't bother me. I was like, whatever, same shit.
True. Wait, so do you have the port at the bottom of the 7? You do, right? You could just plug in any headphones, right?
See that?
Oh, you don't have a
thing where I plug it in? I plug it right into the charger thing.
I have the same thing now.
Yeah, you always had that.
No, I used to have a little circular thing, and I could plug in any type of headphones.
No, I know, but I thought you were saying you didn't realize you could plug, you know, that you had headphones now that would plug directly into that thing, the charger thing.
Well, I need the adapter that came with the phone.
Yeah, the headphones that are on a fucking wire that plug right into this. Is that the adapter thing you're talking about?
No, the adapter thing I'm talking about is like a tiny little thing that like I could plug into my like the end of a regular headphone has like a pointy looking thing.
Uh-huh.
That plugs into this tiny little adapter that plugs into the phone.
Oh, so when you bought your iPhone 7, it didn't come with the headphones that connected straight to the charger thing. Mine did.
Oh.
I just bought an iPhone 7 and with it came headphones that plug directly into that.
No, see, even with
so that's why you were so mad, is because they didn't even. It's not like they gave you an option of here's headphones that work.
No,
you just didn't have any
here's headphones, here's an adapter. Plug your adapter into your headphones and plug it into your phone.
Why did I like automatically get that with my iPhone and you didn't?
I don't know. They sort of hooked you up because the 8 they must have reverted back or some shit.
I don't know. I have no idea, but that's weird. But anyway, you were just watching the Yankee game.
Yeah, I'm still watching. I got it in the background of our laptop right now. So if I look like I'm looking at you with like a cockeyed lazy eye, it's because I'm looking at the Yankee game directly behind the screen.
Okay, I
So
don't watch baseball, so catch me up on what exactly is happening. Is it?
so baseball is usually boring as fuck
Yeah,
because
I
it's
don't
just
watch
like
baseball.
yeah, 3 hours long, and it's just usually like just a bunch of boringness. And if you are following, oh, turn the double play. Damn it. So yeah, usually it's boring because if someone is a star player, they only bat like 4 times a game. So if you're trying to watch just them, they only come up to bat every whatever so innings. But the Yankees made this is technically the playoffs. So the Yankees made the playoffs because they won the wild card, which is like you can win your division, but then you can also win the wild card. So every other team that doesn't win their division battles to win the wild card. So the Yankees won the wild card, but then they implemented this new rule a couple of years ago where the top 2 teams play each other to decide who plays in like a series.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of
Sounds
stupid.
complicated.
It's really sort of stupid and complicated. So this is a 1-game playoff
Mm-hmm.
to decide who will actually play in like a series against Cleveland.
Okay, but it's not they're not eliminated if they don't win, right?
No, if they lose, they're eliminated. Yeah, this is
shit.
it. Yeah, so the first inning they were down 3-0.
Oh shit.
And then dude came up in the bottom of the first inning and hit a home run, so they tied it 3-3. So it's 4-4 right now. It's a pretty exciting game.
And what inning is it?
Third inning.
Okay, third inning. Oh, so that's pretty early in the game.
It's real early and it's high scoring.
What are they playing on the West Coast or something?
No, they're playing in New York.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's weird. What time did the game start? 8:30 maybe?
8 o'clock New York time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the deal with all the NBA trades? I heard there were big moves that happened recently.
Yeah, Melo is in OKC now.
So he's with Russell Westbrook and who else?
Paul George is with OKC.
Okay.
Chris Paul went to the Hornets.
He was back in the day. He was there, right?
No, he was with New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did I say Hornets? I meant Houston Rockets.
Oh, he went.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I was right. He was with.
Yep. Dwight Howard's on the Hornets now.
With who? Anthony Davis still? No.
No, Anthony Davis won New Orleans.
New Orleans Hornets.
New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, New Orleans Pelicans. Who are the Hornets now? They don't exist anymore.
Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they brought them back.
Okay.
There's
So,
like random players.
And then
Dwayne Wade's on the Cavs now.
Dwayne Wade on the Cavs now. They got the old Heat back in Cleveland now.
Yep, pretty much. Chris Bosh still has like crazy heart problems, and he's just like probably dying to be playing basketball somewhere.
Where is he now?
He's just dead. He's not dead, but he has like a heart problem, and he doesn't play right now.
And where's Melo? Melo is Houston.
He's OKC.
Oh, OKC. Sorry.
Yep. And he's doing this thing now. They call him Hoodie Mello because he had like some videos of him playing in like the local gyms back home in the off season where he wears a hood. So like his whole shit now is like he wears a hood when he plays, and that's like his whole like mantra type of thing. It'd be like if you did your show and always wore like a blue coat on like Thursdays or something like that, and just everybody knew it was like, oh no, Kyle wears a blue coat on Thursday. You should do some shit like that.
I wear T-shirts pretty often over my coat, but people are like, "Don't do
that." Yeah, but not
you
like
look
a
stupid.
staple where it's like every Monday they know they're gonna tune in and see, like your secular talk shirt or something like that. Or
people were talking. I did a Q&A for 500,000 subs, and one of the main questions was like, "Can you show us your legs?" And it's like, you motherfuckers have seen it. Like there are videos of me on the channel. Like there was one I put up of my golf swing from way back in the day, and people saw my legs.
There was a picture I put up, I think from '88, where like you were teeing up a putt and you could see your legs. Like, I mean, you have legs.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. The one where it was like from high school, and you see my legs. Yeah, here. I'll try to show people now, but I got wires and shit I'm trying to deal with. See, this is my leg. They probably are like, yeah, watch, he's paralyzed. He can't move his shit on his own. All right, watch. Here are my hands, and look, I'm moving my leg. And I got shorts on, so calm down. I'm not naked for all of you who are wondering.
Sometimes that shit is crazy, though. You see that I don't know if I've seen it in movies or just in real life, but like someone will be running or doing something, and all of a sudden they'll just like take their leg off, and you're just like, whoa.
What do you mean they'll take their leg off?
Like you don't expect that the person was like an amputee or something like that. So I guess people have a right to be questioning because they've never. I mean,
Never
they don't
seen
see
my legs.
often your legs.
Well,
you know?
FDR while he was president, right? People didn't know that he was in a wheelchair for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was always in a wheelchair, and people didn't know. They just because every time they saw him, it was like with me, like I'm just always sitting.
That's what I'm saying. I know a kid here in Chicago. He played in a basketball league I played in. And when we started playing in the league, he had like a full set of hair and everything was good. And all the pictures that he was taking in and like his Instagram pictures, you could see his hair. And then towards the end of the basketball league, maybe like a couple of years later, he started losing his hair. And one day he came into the gym because he can't play ball with a hat on. And I think he owns his father owned a car dealership or something like that. So he doesn't work in a professional type like setting where he'd have to not wear a hat or, show the top of his hair. So he came to the basketball game one of the last years I was there playing in the league, and he had to take his hat off, and he had like shaved his head, and it was like bald, but he was still trying to figure out what the look was, like if he was going to shave his head or keep it totally bald. And then going forward, all the pictures he was posting were with a hat on, so people just probably assumed that he still had his hair.
Oh, so then when you took it off, everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, but nobody like in outside reality world who saw him probably just still assumed he had hair.
Yeah,
he didn't.
So it was a shock every time he took his hat off, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
Some people look a lot better with the hat on than with the hat off.
Yeah, 100%. I before I was married, I would go to. There was this shallow girl that I just remember. It's just, we were at a bar one time. I think it was Mickey Spillane's, and she was talking to a guy, and I think I overheard it. And she was just like, take your hat off. Like, let me see if you have hair. And I was just like, you're so like who says that? Like, why would you even say that?
That is a little blunt, but in her defense, I mean, if you're a girl and you're about to date a guy, you're gonna want to know like what his situation is up top.
Yeah, I guess I respect it. I mean, you're not dating a guy, but like you can't have a conversation with the guy and then eventually like
he was hitting on her, you think, or what was the...
100%. I mean, who goes to a bar and is not
so she was just
girl?
like, hold on here, take off your fucking... That's like if a guy's talking to a girl and he's like, wait, pause, excuse me, turn around and let me see your ass. Is your ass nice enough to continue this conversation? Do you have
like
hips?
Guys do that.
Please turn around. And it's like, oh, okay. Anyway, what were you saying?
We can proceed on this conversation now.
Oh, that'd be so weird.
That's like don't like math professors do that or some shit? Like you have to like solve some equation before they. I mean like.
Oh, they do that for big job interviews, like for really big tech companies that are.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll ask you like some preposterously hard question, and you
Just
have to get
you
the
can
answer on the
advance past
spot.
that, right?
Yeah. So I would hate that shit.
I had a friend. I think you know him, but he was interviewing with Google or something like that.
Yeah, they do shit like that.
Yeah, and I don't know if they like tapped his phone or he got a survey to his phone to like answer, like to pass this test and answer these certain questions.
That's a little weird if they literally like.
I don't know if they tapped his phone.
Sent something right to his phone.
Well, no, they definitely sent something to his phone because he said he was in an Uber or something like that and got like this random survey or questionnaire from Google that he had to answer and pass the test. I think prior to his job interview or something like that, or maybe like the second round of his job interview, which to me is crazy.
Yeah, they don't fuck
That's
around.
why they have such great people working there.
Well, yeah, there's some, probably Apple does that too, I bet. Google does that, Apple does that, any big tech company where it's like a really high-paying job and you do like really high-level shit, they hit
We've spoken about this before. Like, can you blame them? Because ultimately, any job interview, if I'm going there and I'm interviewing just one time, like you can't fucking decide if you know.
Yeah, it depends what the job is. I'd imagine for jobs like that, they just want really, really highly competent people in the field. So if they ask you a really difficult question in that field, then yeah, that's fair game. But I wouldn't want to put myself in that position. I wouldn't want like where they ask a question where it's like you have to not. It's almost like you have to also, on top of getting the answer right and having the ability to get the answer right, it's almost like you have to suppress any nervousness you might have at that point in time. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a very difficult thing.
But job interviews in general, I mean, when I went through a job interview, I think I had to write out like answers to a question, and it had to be like grammatically correct, and there had to be punctuation, and I was just like, shit, man, like that's tough. Like
it's almost like they put roadblocks in your way just to see if you will get past the roadblocks, just to see if you're obedient enough to listen to them when you're hired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, here, do all these menial, nonsensical things. And if you complete these menial, nonsensical things, well, then you can work for us, because I know that now when I tell you to do anything, you're going to do it. Go get me some coffee, go do this, go do that. And it's like, okay. You know what I mean? So it's like, here, be servile. Oh, okay, here, I'm being that way. All right, you're hired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
I don't like that. I mean, the job interview, outside of the actual job interview, when you sit down with your boss, like, so say you go into the offices and it's like,
the conversation part of it.
The conversation part of it should be nothing. The whole job interview, and I've had to hire people for my old job. I hired basketball trainers. The job interview should be when you are sending the emails to them to set up the job interview, to see like how fast they respond, to how quick they answer their phone calls.
Yeah, I bet people weigh that. Sure, I bet people weigh that. I mean, they'd be silly not to.
Yeah.
You know?
Because when I sit down and talk with them, I already have in my mind, like, all right, this dude wrote back to me within an hour. You know, he said he gets off of work at 4. He was here 15 minutes early. Like, all the shit that's preluded to the interview is all the shit that I've already plugged into my mind. Like, I like this guy. I don't care what he says right now, because he was here on time. He did everything properly to be in this spot right now.
Yeah, you know, it is almost, to a certain extent, it's almost like a popularity contest. You know, it's like, all right, can you get the boss to like you? If you can, and that's probably for most jobs. For those high-level tech jobs that we were talking about, it probably is a lot more of a meritocracy and based on, you know, competence in whatever field it is, or whatever 100%. The specifics of that field are. But yeah, for most jobs, it's probably just a likability contest. And that, I mean, that is kind of fucked up too, though, when you think about it, because if it's a likability contest, then that means that somebody who might be really good at the job but not very personable might get fucked.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, that's not cool, man. That's not cool.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, we spoke about this shit. Like, you can't figure out what someone's like after speaking with them for one time, you know?
Yeah. I remember one time back in the day, you might remember this, friend of mine, I won't say his name, but he was selling fucking kitchen utensils. He like selling these fucking boxes of kitchen utensils, and they were supposed to be like really good kitchen utensils or some shit.
I feel like I know who it was, but
you probably do. We'll talk about it off air. Okay. The name. I just don't want to give people random shouts if they don't want it. But
yeah.
But I was like, I could do that shit because it was easy enough. Like, okay, you just sell these things every now and then, and whatever, you make $100 or whatever the fuck it might be every time you sell it. And so I went to this thing where they have like a big ass job interview and you narrow it down, and so there were like maybe 15 or 20 people there to start with, and I went there and I was wearing my fucking suit and shit. I don't know how old I was, probably had to be like 17, 18 or some shit. And then so they narrow it down. I end up being one of like 2 or 3 people that gets it. And so now I got the job of selling these, you know, utensil things, and I just never sold it. I was like, I don't feel like it. Like, it was so weird. It's just a bizarre fucking thing. But anyway, the point of the story is there were like 20 people in the room, and it was just who can fucking bullshit this asshole guy better, you know? And he did this big fucking presentation and shit, and it's like, dude, you sell like knives and forks. Calm down. What are you talking about?
Those jobs where, well, one, I remember when I was younger, my mom, like, she was always just like a secretary or whatever, like worked for a doctor, or like always just grinding, just picking up random jobs. She worked at the bagel store, just like mopping up the floors and stuff like that. And they had this like herbal shampoo and conditioning stuff that she signed up to sell, and they would give her boxes of this shit, and like she would have people over at that house and like call all of her friends to sell this shit. And like people still do that stuff today. Like, it's just, once you start bringing your friends,
yeah, some of those things are a scheme. That's what it is.
100%.
Where it's like you have to bring in other people to sell this.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing that I did with the utensils might have been that shit too.
100%.
Might
Yeah,
be
because
like,
I mean,
you
like,
have to get these other people to come in, and then everybody's got to get other people to come in.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like once I start seeing, like, if I'm friends with you, cool, that's friends with you. But like, don't start hitting me up now. Like, hey, I started selling this like knife set that you might need. Like, no, that's not the reason why I'm friends with you.
Oh,
Like
that'd
to
be
buy
so
knives.
weird if you literally contact.
That's happened,
Yeah.
man. Like these these they have these trips, like journey trips, like dream trips, where it's like a wish you were here. You ever see that they hold up the little blue sign?
Mm-hmm.
There's these people that fucking hit you up. I don't want to knock it because I'm sure some people do it, and they're like a lot of people are really about it. But your friends hit you up and they're like, "Hey man, you haven't spoken to you in a while," and it'll be someone like that you knew from high school that like you were cool with that like would hit you up, and you're like, "Oh shit, like he was cool." And be like, "Hey Kyle, like I see you're doing your talk show, like shit looks like it's popping. You want to grab some coffee sometime?" And you're like, "Yeah, okay." You go out to coffee and they're like, "Hey man, I really think if you pay $100 a month, like you can really be in control of your life and you could start traveling and doing all the shit that you want to do." And they hit you up on some like business like shit to like buy into their pyramid scheme type of shit.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, you just wasted time out of my life. I thought you were just trying to be a friend. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, there was a friend of a friend did that, got into one of those pyramid schemes too, where it was like an obvious one. It was like a financial one. It was like, what the fuck is the name of it? It wasn't like Trimerica or some shit it was called.
Amway, I know Amway's one.
Oh, that might have been the one. It might have been Amway. It might have been that. That kind of ringing a bell. Or Primerica or some shit.
Maybe Primerica's one too. Amway is where the Orlando Magic plays in their arena, so maybe that's what sounds familiar.
But he got into it, and it was like they tried to sell me on it, and I was like, that shit is a scheme. You might have been there. It might have been both of us saying that. It was at our friend's house.
I hope someone didn't try and get me on that shit.
No, it's not. They were like saying like, "Oh, we're gonna go take the class." Like my friend was like, "Oh, we're gonna go take the class on this shit," and I was like, "That shit is a scam." And he's like, "Nah." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Nah." He's like, "Yeah."
Anything that like is just, I don't know. I see this stuff and
it's like Trump University. That shit was a scam.
Like you get vulnerable people. You get people who are in a position where, it's just like they have nothing else. And they're like, there's a big group of people that, are saying, hey, you could do this, man. Like this, you'll be your own boss. You don't have to work for some fucking guy. You'll make a lot of money. And people buy into that shit. It sounds all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are gullible a lot of the time, and people are in desperate situations where it's just like, hey, yeah, I like to travel. I don't want to fucking work for a boss. Like I can make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's easy to get somebody if you hook them like that.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to ask you some of the questions that they asked me for the 500,000 subs thing.
Yeah, how was it? You got a lot of questions?
Oh my God, I got more than I could ever get to. I did as many as I could, but it was just an endless list. And I made the mistake of saying, "Oh, okay, we'll do it on YouTube, so go ahead, post in this comment section, if you have questions." And I read those questions, and then I also
you went through and read all the questions?
I read as many as I could, and then I also said, you could also send them to me on Twitter, and I'll put a thing on Facebook. But I got so many questions through YouTube and on Twitter that I was like, I'm not even going to put it on Facebook because it's just too many. I don't have, I can't answer them all. But one of the ones that was recurring the most was, "Are traps gay?" Do you know what a trap is or no?
Yeah, of course. Like here?
What?
Like the traps? Like your
no,
traps?
No. Not that. Not your muscles. Not traps muscles. But don't feel bad because I didn't know exactly what traps were either. The traps they're referring to. But let me describe it. Okay. So, all right. So this in this hypothetical situation, you're not married and all that stuff, and you're out at a bar and you see this hot girl and you start talking to her and she starts talking to you and everything's going smoothly and one thing leads to another and it's about to get popping. You go back to your place and you're all horned up. She's all horned up. You're ready to go. And right when you're about to go, you realize she has a dick.
Whoa.
So the question...
that was some out of left field shit. I was not expecting that. Whoa. My brain's like, I'm focusing on the Yankee game. I was listening to what you were saying. I was not expecting that one. She's getting it out. She's getting it out the door. I don't even care what traps are right now. Like, you can't hit me with some like.
Okay, no. Okay, so I got it. I got your reaction to it. But then the question still remains: is it gay? Is it gay if a dude's like, meh, and then goes through with it?
Oh man. Ugh.
That's a hard question, right? It is a hard question.
It's that hard? I think yes, it is.
Okay.
Like, by definition.
Well, not really. Okay, so I have the definitive answer on this, as I said the other day in my answer video. And let me describe it. So, no, I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's as simple as it's gay, because it's not just a dude. You didn't talk to a dude at the bar with a fucking square jaw and a 5 o'clock shadow and some big-ass biceps with testosterone running through his body. You were speaking to basically like a pre-op trans woman who convinced you, when you looked at her, you didn't think for a second that was a dude. You thought that was a chick. Enough to talk to her and then go home with her. So you were convinced it was a woman. And then at the last second you found out, oh, it's basically a woman with a dick. It's a transgender woman that's before any operation or anything. So anyway, my answer was, it's not gay, but it's also not straight, because there's a dick there. So
but you're saying they go through
it's in its own category. It's in its own. No. I wouldn't go through with it. Oh. I wouldn't go through with it. But I'm saying you can't just call it gay because it's not gay. If gay is just fucking another dude, this isn't just a dude. This is a woman with a dick. So it's different. It's a trans woman with a dick. So I'd say it's curved. It's in its own category. There's gay, there's straight, and then there's curved, which is fucking trans women who look 100% like a biological woman, but they have a dick.
Yeah, I guess you could put it in its own category. I guess that is what...
You just can't... It's not simple enough. It's not accurate enough to be like, that shit is gay, because gay is if you sleep with a dude named Bob. And Bob, and Bob's fucking got his dick flopping around, and you're at the bar, and Bob's got a beer belly, and he's like, you want to hang out?
I guess that happens to me sometimes when... No.
What happens to you?
Pause that. Sometimes, I don't know if I'm making this up right now or if this has ever happened, but I'll be shopping and I'll see like an item that's hot. I'm looking at it, and then I'm like, is this women's or men's like shirt or like accessory?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to confirm with someone, and they're like, oh, that's women's. And then I'm just like, oh shit, okay, never mind. I'm gonna put that back.
Yeah, like it's not like it's impossible. There are some, I've seen them myself. There are some, like, even there are like porn stars who are trans women that if you look at them, you're like, if you were to see a picture of them just from the front, naked, waist up, you go, that's 100% a woman, no question about it. You see them from the back, you see the hips and ass, you're like, that is 100% a woman, and that's a dope woman. And then they go to the front and pan out, and it's all woman with a dick, and you're like, your mind is like, it just shuts out, it's short circuits, and you're like, I didn't know that was possible. Yeah, it turns into
mashed potatoes. That's happened to me on videos where it's just like,
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they, like just on little memes, they've shown like a girl walking.
Yes, exactly, like those joke memes where it's like, you're like, oh, she's so dope, and then you turn around and get a fucking floppy
mustache
ass dick
and stuff like that. Yeah.
So that's, and you can't. I don't think it's fair to, if a dude in that situation follows through with it, that you gotta like, oh, you're gay. No, it's like that dude.
Nah, you can't follow through. You can't follow through with it. You can't follow through with it, man. Like,
I wouldn't. If somebody were to follow through with it, I wouldn't be able to call that dude gay because he's not just gay. He had sex with a woman with a dick. That's not just gay. That's fucking curved. So he's not 100% straight. He's not 100% straight, but that's not gay. He didn't fuck Bob. He fucked a chick with a dick.
I mean, I guess, yeah, if you want to have your own category for it, that's fine.
That's its own category. That's its own category. You have
that was like that was a recurring question?
Well, yes, because that's been the debate we just had has been a debate going on the internet forever. where
Oh, I don't even never even
that's because we're
like.
not deep in like Reddit forums and shit. But that's the
Yeah,
shit
true.
that people are arguing that. And there's some people who are like, that shit is gay as fuck. There's a dick. And then there's other people who are like, but it's attached to a fucking woman. It's not the same. And they just go back and forth for hours and hours and hours. And I think they're both right, which is why you got to have a third category. You just can't call it gay or straight.
Yeah, I guess a third category is needed there.
Yeah. I like it. And well, I didn't look at the comment section on that particular video, but I got a bunch of like tweets at me afterwards, and they were like, "Yo, you just killed it on that video about the traps." I was like, "I know
So
I did."
what'd you say? The third category?
I said that you have. I said you
agreeing with
can't
that?
call it gay, you can't call it straight. It's its own category.
Yeah,
And that's the only way you could really discuss it accurately, because it's not one or the other. It's like an obvious mix. Another question that I got a few times was, would you rather fight 1,000 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Okay, I think I've heard this before.
You've definitely heard this before. I've heard this before.
1,000 duck-sized horses?
Yeah,
Horses?
so like a bunch of little horses, they're fucking
Okay.
you up, 1,000 of them, or
Or
one
one-
giant horse-sized duck. So a duck that's the size of a horse.
horse-sized duck.
Yeah.
100%.
You'd rather fight the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. 1,000's so many.
Yeah, even like when you watch aren't there movies where like little midgets, there's just so many of them and they're just attacking one person?
Yeah, it's a movie though. It's not the same. But yeah, that's too many. If there are 1,000 little things coming at you, I'd definitely rather take my chances with one big thing.
Yeah, too many of anything will just like take you down eventually, and like one will bite you and grab your leg. Yeah, that's an easy one.
That's what I'm saying.
A stupid question.
You got to try to kick the horse-sized duck in the duck nuts.
Yeah,
And just
100%.
take that motherfucker out that way. But my thing,
Ducktail that motherfucker.
but the thing that I said in the segment though was either way I'm losing. Like there's no way I'm winning that either way. Like the horse-sized duck is gonna fuck me up, and the 1,000 duck-sized horses are gonna fuck me up. Like I'm getting fucked up either way in that situation.
No, the one-on-one, maybe you could get like if
I'm
you get a
getting fucked
random
up.
kick though, and like if you get a random kick in, and
Nah, I'm getting fucked up. A horse-sized duck is gonna fuck me up. He's
Yeah,
gonna
bro.
wing me or some shit. He's gonna fucking.
any type of fight with an animal probably will get ugly for us, just because like it's just awkward. You can't, it's not.
They'll just bite you, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, it's just a random like. How do you square up against any type of
Yeah,
animal?
that's true.
They're not standing like natural. Like was good. Like a human
Yeah.
being, you could square up. You could size them out a little bit.
Yeah, there's
feel
like
them
a
out.
fight because you're matched. Like you both
Yeah.
have 2 arms, you both have 2 legs.
Even when I look at my dogs, like like I don't know
Like
what
if they
they're-
decided to go nuts on you, you'd feel like you're fucked.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if they're like an experienced fighter, they can maybe grab him by the neck and break it, but I can't do that. I don't know how to do that.
Grab who?
Grab the dog by the neck and just.
Oh, never do that. That would be so bad.
But if they're fucking you up, if they're like about to fucking bite your jugular, what are you gonna do? You gotta fucking try something.
Yeah, on like a little poodle, just snap his neck.
But you're right. I feel like even if like a fucking house cat was attacking me, I'd be like, ah! I
Yeah,
wouldn't know what to do.
I would like little spiders jump on me. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh, I hate spiders.
Yeah, there was there's all these little bugs now just because I guess it's so humid. Oh, get that. No, he didn't get it. That are around my car, around my like front door. So I just took my hose and I just started spraying the hell out of them. But I guess that probably gets more of them.
Isn't there a product you could use? Like, wouldn't a bug light and you got like poison in that bitch or something?
Probably something.
Yeah, I can't stand spiders and bugs and shit.
I hate all that shit, man.
My neighbor
And I-
told me that I had a box in the backyard because I was just too lazy to like put it out to the curb, and it was in the back for a little bit.
Yeah.
And my neighbor was like, "You might want to put that at the curb." I saw like a rat run into it the other night. I was like, "Ah!"
Son. When I worked at the ice cream store, I can't even say the name of the ice cream store because I would feel bad just putting it on blast. But we had napkins under this counter, and I got to take a piss in a second. But we had napkins, and they had a brown case around the napkins, and we would always stack the napkins up. Oh, and one time we didn't have that many more napkins left, so I was reaching toward the back, and there was a dead rat that I was like petting it, like it was my pet, because I couldn't reach it, and I was trying to get it, and I pulled it out, and I was like, those aren't napkins, man. Yeah, it was so disgusting. But to the ice cream store's defense, we thought it came from the bagel place next door, which was grimy as hell.
Damn, son. Is that bagel store still open?
Yep, it's still there.
Yo, I might have to, on the low, call like the fucking health department and just be like, yo, you have to do a search of that place.
Son, we had a dead animal in my backyard here in Illinois, and my wife was like, I didn't know what to do, so she called like animal services or some shit, which like you would think you would do. It's like, hey, there's a dead animal in our backyard. We didn't know what it was. We were just, our dogs were sort of like fickering around with it. So one night she saw them like fickering around with them. The next day she was like, there's definitely something dead over there. So she called the animal services and they were just like, it's on your property. You gotta deal with it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So my wife was like, you have to go pick that up and get rid of that shit. And I was just like, I'm not going to go pick that up.
Oh, what the fuck? Animal services doesn't control that?
I guess not.
Is there like a pest control company or something you could call?
No. So I was thinking I was going to have to like just take.
There's definitely somebody you could call for that, man.
I think if it's on your property, you got to just like. That's
some Illinois shit, because in New York, you can call probably 3,000 people to come take care of that for you.
I don't know. I mean, like, if it's...
100%. I remember when I was a kid, we had a skunk that got caught under the deck in the basement.
Yeah.
And it was just stinking the fucking place up. And then there was I don't know if it was an exterminator or somebody came and they took it out.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I could call, like, someone and pay for it, but, like
but
animal
you try to call
services
somebody like
just,
a state...
Yeah, yeah. Like,
okay, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And they were like, "That's on you." Of course, I could call like some shit that like someone pay. I gotta pay them.
Yeah.
But the place was like, "You gotta do it." So I told her, I was like, "Let's wait one more night. Hopefully, some animal comes in at the like middle of the night.
A bear eats that shit.
Somebody." So the next day, I was praying, and I looked the next morning, and it was gone. I was like,
"What was
God.
it? You don't know what it was?
It might have been a dead bird or some shit, or like I don't know, but it was it."
Your dogs were playing with it, or they ate it, or what? Maybe your dogs ate it.
I don't know. No, I don't think they ate it because we put them on like this clip. We put them on a clip and then they run in our backyard.
Okay.
And they kept going towards it and just like fickering with it. But it was some bloody. It was some bloody something.
Yeah, I remember one time my friend's dog, straight up ate a gopher's face off. Like this cute dog who's the most adorable fucking dog you've ever seen, who's so loving and stuff. And then one day, goes outside, comes back in, like, holding the fucking gopher head.
What?
Like a vicious beast, like, just... And then it's at that moment, because oftentimes you look at a dog and you feel like they're so human-like. They're so like us. Like, they're so...
Yeah.
But then at a moment like that, you go, oh, you're still like a wild fucking animal, aren't you? Holding the head of a fucking gopher you just ate. And this is a white dog, so it was, like, bloody all over the face and down the neck. And she like put the gopher head like by his feet and started like wagging her tail like, look what I did. And he's like,
oh no,
the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah.
Where the fuck was a gopher in New York?
Yeah, there are gophers in New York.
Oh, I feel like gopher is like a Minnesota thing.
Nah, I think there are gophers in New York.
I gotta take a piss really fast.
Yeah, go for it. I'll talk to everybody. So I'm about to ask Corin one of the other questions that I didn't get to in the Q&A from you lovely folks. Top 5 rappers. I didn't answer this one on my own because honestly, when I started thinking about it, it seemed like it was like an insurmountable task to come up with a list of 5 in order that I really believed in. So I started thinking about it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to put Tupac on the list, but where would I put Tupac on the list? I'm on the East Coast. He's a West Coast dude. Feels like I'm a traitor to the East Coast if I say that. And I was going through the list, and I'm going to see what Corin says, because I think, for me, I'd have to put Fabulous on the list. I'd have to put Jadakiss on the list. Now, I'm a little weird, I think, in that I really liked T.I. when I was younger. I don't know how I feel about him now as much. I don't like him as much, but there's a time I loved him. Lil Wayne, I'd have to put on that list. But I'm curious what he'd say. So we're going to ask him, and then you basically just got my list there, but I don't know what order I put it in.
Okay, my bad. I feel so much better.
That's okay. So I was just talking to the lovely people out there, and I said I'm gonna bring up this question, which is one that I was gonna answer on my show, but I couldn't come up with a good enough answer, so I wanted to ask you what you thought about it.
Okay.
The question was top 5 rappers. Who are your top 5 rappers of all time?
Oh, damn, man.
So that was my reaction. I was like overwhelmed by the question almost. I was like, how do I even begin to like craft that list?
It's so tough because like real rap like enthusiasts will say like Nas and like they'll go old school, you know, like I don't even know, like LL Cool J a rapper and shit like that, you know, like
yeah. So I
like
thought 2 more
eras.
that I didn't mention to the audience that I now am going to bring up here, but here are a few that are on my short list, if you will. And I don't know the order. That's the thing I was struggling with too. Like, really, who am I going to put at number 1? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Fabulous is up there for me. Jadakiss is up there.
That's a good one.
Lil Wayne is up there. I mentioned T.I., but I kind of know that that's me dating myself just because I liked a few of his songs when I was younger.
Yeah.
But now I want to add Dre and Snoop there too because they're so
iconic.
Yeah, exactly. And I really do like
Eminem sort of has to be top 5, and I'm not really a fan of his. Like,
I'm a fan of his, but he's not in my top 5. That's the thing. Like, and that's why this is so hard.
You have to be a fan of someone to put them in your top 5. Like, top 5 is so It's subjective.
100% subjective. But like for me, Fabulous would have to go in my top 5. Jadakiss would have to go in my top 5. Lil Wayne would have to go in my top 5.
Were you a Jay-Z fan?
No. And that makes me, I know, super at odds with like everybody out there, but 100% I put like Tupac above Jay-Z. I put Snoop and Dre above Jay-Z. Biggie, no. I like Tupac more than Biggie. Yeah, I like Tupac. I like Tupac a lot more than Biggie, actually.
That's surprising with that.
Well, I know and that's what I was gonna say is that like people are gonna East Coast traitor, but I mean Jadakiss is in my Jadakiss and Fabulous. That's East Coast.
Yeah, Jadakiss and Fabulous they're the goats. They're in my top 5.
They're East Coast, but I understand that like East people on our coast are gonna be like, really, you're not gonna put Jay-Z or Biggie in your top 5? But I don't know, But, like, I get that the fact that I didn't like them that much is just subjective. That, like, they're widely recognized as, like, 2 of the best of all time. But for me, it was something about their flow that I'm like, eh. Like, for me, Fabulous's flow was like, whoa. Like, he just fucking hit me with a fucking anvil on my face. It was just so good. It was just so good.
Mace had a good flow too.
He was good, man. Mace was good. He's not my top 5, but he was good. There was definitely something about his flow that was like, I like that. I like that. And you know me, I always like Southern rap, so that's why Lil Wayne and Cash Money has to be.
You put like Juvenile, like in your
imagine
top
that's the top 5. Everybody in Cash Money.
Juvenile, Master P,
BG,
Silk the Shocker,
Lil Turk.
What are all those guys doing now, man? I heard
jail.
Like juveniles. Yeah, I heard juveniles in jail now or something like that over child support.
Over child support, they put you in
something
jail
like that.
I
think so. Yeah.
I really like Juvenile.
Juvenile was the man.
What do you think of 50 Cent? I like Lloyd Banks more than 50 Cent, and I even liked Young Buck more than 50 Cent.
Yeah, they were both good too. I don't know. I think I was a 50 Cent fan. I bought 50 Cent's album back when he was like having a competition with like Kanye West. They were like going back and forth. They were on the cover of like Inquirer or something like that.
Would you put Kanye in your top 5?
I think so.
You would?
I think so, yeah.
You'd put Jay-Z in your top 5?
I think so, yeah.
Damn, you went with Kanye and Jay-Z?
But if you name 5 more people in my top 5,
yeah, I know. I just keep adding. Exactly.
Like I was a big fan of Jermaine Dupri.
You put Bubba Sparks in your top 5?
Yeah, I put him in. Remember, like it was Bubba Sparks. There was. You remember Paul Wall?
Paul
he had the
Wall,
grills?
yeah, the grill guy.
Like what it do, baby? It's the Iceman, Paul Wall.
He probably made enough money off that one song where he's good for like 15 years.
He's definitely broke as.
Yeah, that's why I said 15 years and not forever, because you know damn well he's broke now.
Yeah, it's true. There was that one guy. I think I spoke about it once, but he was at a Golden State Warriors game. Oh, get out! Yes,
home run for the Yankees.
Yeah, Aaron Judge.
What's the score?
For 6-4. or 7-4.
So
But Aaron
Yankees
Judge
are
is
winning
like their
7-4.
beast player.
Yankees
Just
are
hit a
winning
home run.
7-4.
Yeah, 7-4.
Oh,
Nice.
That's good. Not that I care about baseball, but go New York.
What was I saying? Paul Wall?
Yeah, we're talking about Paul Wall, his grill, how broke his ass is now.
Oh, there was an artist who was at the Golden State Warriors like finals game, and he was sitting front row, and then all these memes started coming out. I don't know if it was like Soldier Boy,
Bow Wow.
No, it wasn't Bow Wow.
Oh,
it was like someone obscure, but like made a hot song that you would remember them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Why is this person front row?" And then they like researched them, and they like invested in tech companies and did all this like a lot of smart shit with their money.
Oh shit! So
Yeah.
somebody like
Was
got
smart
their
with
money
yes.
from that song and then invested and then is good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like that who you wouldn't think. Oh, like somebody was telling you might have been telling me Ashton Kutcher.
Mm-hmm.
He's invested a
crazy
shitload of money.
entrepreneur, like investor.
Like he took all his money that he made and he invested it, and now he's doing well.
Companies pay him money to invest in like these Airbnb type of shit because
Shit. Yeah, he got in that early, right? He got an Airbnb early or something.
he was in Airbnb. There's so many different. Like I watched the first episode of Shark Tank, and there was a guy who invested in like smart water and pop chips and all that
right,
shit.
Yeah.
He was one of the investors who was given money.
So I like if I cared about investing, I could do well too. And everybody who listens to my show on a regular basis, you have the knowledge to invest properly. Because if you have enough political knowledge, there's a lot of overlap between politics and the economy. And if you're smart about it, you can make a lot of money if you're an investor. So if people listen to the show and they want to invest, for example, let me just give a few examples of how they can make money.
Invest in the NRA?
Well, I was going to say, the day Donald Trump got elected, you better buy a shitload of stock in ExxonMobil and Chevron and every fucking fossil fuel company under the sun. If you really cared about making money and like if you're a good lib like me and you don't believe in, the marketplace and doing that kind of stuff, then, you just have this knowledge, but you don't act on it. But there's enough people who listen to me who probably like, I'll take that advice or what should I invest in? So like when a Republican wins, you want to invest in fossil fuel because it's going to fucking, go through the roof. Also, you could look at like the trends in the economy right now. For example, the market is at like a record high when it wasn't that fucking long ago that we had the subprime mortgage crisis. So like, obviously we're going to crash again. I would short the shit out of the housing market again because it's going to fucking crash again because we're right back to where we were. So there's ways you can make money if you have enough knowledge from following politics and stuff. And that's one of those things where Ashton Kutcher, what he probably did with like Airbnb is he probably was looking to go somewhere and found out about this site. Like, oh, you just go and it's easy. And he was like, oh, really? And then he realized, oh, I could invest in this company. And then he got in low and made a lot of money.
Yeah, but also when you have a platform too, when you're someone like Ashton Kutcher and you're just a regular average Joe, you can go to them and say like, hey, man, this thing's going to blow up.
Yeah.
My friend's doing this company. And it's just like, it's on you to pick like, hey,
yeah, but
that sounds like a good idea. Like, you can travel.
A lot of people are going to hit you with some bullshit ideas, though, and you have to not be afraid to call bullshit on them. You know?
100%.
Like, if somebody comes at you with a good idea, great, then invest in it. But if somebody hits you with some bullshit, 90% of the time, they're going to be bullshitting you. You're going to have to say, fuck off.
Yeah, but it's also investing in people. It's investing in, like, what's a good product. So, I mean, like, I can watch Shark Tank. And a lot of people probably watch Shark Tank and they say to themselves like, oh, I could figure out it. I would invest in that company. Mm-hmm. But some of them are like dog shit ideas where you're just like,
who would invest in that?
Yeah, like one guy had a fake iPhone and was just like, yeah, this is a fake iPhone so people can just, give it to their kid. And like, it was just something so stupid. And I was just like,
let me invest in that. Let me call that guy.
Well, like when you have millions of dollars and somebody comes in with an idea that looks like you're like, oh shit, this looks like a good idea, and they're coming to you for money, like they're at your expense. It's just like you could be like, okay, that's a good idea. I'm not going to give you what you want, but I'm going to give you.
Yeah,
it's easy. Like money makes money. Once you have money, it's easier to make money.
Yeah, that's a great point. Which is why, and that was one of the things. I'll pull it up on my Twitter right now. It was one of the things I was considering doing a story on my show tomorrow. But while we're talking about it now, I might as well bring it up. There was an interesting report that just came out about the relative difference in income between races in the U.S. And I'll give you the exact numbers in a second. Here we go. Okay, so the median household net worth. Net worth is like what you're worth in total. So like if you take the value of your house, the value of your car, the value of your bank accounts, if you have any investments, like the value of all that put together. For white people, the median household net worth is $171,000.
Damn.
So now what people need to understand about that number is, because sometimes people might misinterpret that as like, damn, like white people really worked hard. No, it's that white people have the median household net worth is $171,000 because oftentimes what happens is you've been here for a few generations at least, and some wealth accumulates over the generations, and that gets passed down. So it's not really just, the money that you've made from your job or whatever, and that's it. It's the fact that, you have a house, and the fact that you had money from your grandparents that was passed down, even if it's just a little bit that was passed down over the years, So you have $171,000 median net worth. Now Hispanics, $20,700. That's their median net worth. Blacks, $17,600 for black people.
For a family.
For a family, yes.
Fuck.
So what that says is, like, the only explanation for that is generational. So, like, if your net worth, your total worth, well, if you're a black family in the South, for example, your grandmother lived under segregation, Like, your grandma, that's not that long ago. So they had zero wealth to pass down to their kids, and then their kids, there's nothing that was accumulated in that short time span. So I forget what we were originally talking about, but the point was, you said money makes money. That's why we were talking about it. So yeah, like if for white families, you've accumulated over generations, and you have enough money there, and when you have the money, it makes money. You know what I mean? So it's easy to, if you have $171,000 in net worth, to do a $12,000 investment, that might yield $40,000 down the road, not that long in the future. That's a lot of money you just picked up, but you had the ability to do that because you had the $12,000 there to begin with.
Yep.
So yeah, that just goes to show you, man. Things aren't in a vacuum, Things aren't in a vacuum. If you start with a massive disadvantage, you're going to be fucking massively disadvantaged.
100%.
Yeah.
There's I don't know if this relates to anything at all, but there was a kid who was big into selling sneakers, and I mean he started from the ground up. Like he started buying and selling sneakers and started making a lot of money. And then he started getting into cars and started buying and selling cars and like getting them imported and stuff like that. And I don't know, my point is like he just made a lot of money because he started with sneakers and then started going with cars and just gradually worked his way up. But he had a lot of money to invest in cars where he could flip them and make a lot more money, whereas someone who's selling just some sneakers and doesn't make it to that level can't make that much money,
Yeah, but you're saying there was a dude who did sneakers and then graduated to cars, or no?
Yeah.
Really? Who's that?
Yeah. This kid from my old high school. He started with like Jordans, and then he started selling Jordans to this kid who started selling to like athletes and like Odell Beckham and all this stuff. So he was like, they were paying a lot of money.
Jordan salesman, like an official Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know where he would, like, he had a connect at Nike or something like that who he would get the shoes from, and then like that's how he had like exclusive shoes and sell like these Air Force Ones. They'd sell different versions of them, like Tiffany's versions, which were like powder blue.
And now he does this with cars?
He does it with cars, yeah.
Is that his job? That's his...
Yeah, he works at a pizza shop or something. Like he owns a pizzeria in Westchester.
Damn. This sounds like a mafia-connected dude.
Yeah, it probably was, but like... No, I know. I think my uncle, like, at one point was like importing cars and like selling cars on eBay and stuff like that, like on like eBay Auto.
Who does the eBay thing?
Yeah,
yeah. That's awesome. By the way, that's really cool. I remember when you were telling me about that. Like, I have an uncle who literally his job is to buy and sell stuff on eBay.
Yeah, he had a store on eBay and like sold like David Yurman jewelry and stuff like that, and then eventually graduated into cars as well.
Yeah, like he just sells everything on eBay. Like he just has a bunch of shit that he buys. It's like, this is going to sell on eBay and I'm going to make a profit on it. And then he sells it on eBay.
Yeah, I think his wife was very good at shopping. She was like a super shopper. Would go to like Nordstrom's and all these stores and
have
find
all the
out
coupons
like
and shit and get the
all
deals.
the coupons, get the deals, and talk to like sales reps.
And then he turns around and flips it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
People do that even with like TJ Maxx and stuff like that, because they sell Adidas and they sell like Marc Jacobs and I don't know, Nautica, like
Yeah. What oftentimes what happens at like TJ Maxx is you'll have like a tie where the back of the tie, the label was flipped by accident. But like nobody sees the back of it anyway, the little thing back there anyway. So you just saved literally like 60% on this tie. And so what? It's one season out of date or something. I don't give a fuck about that. And it's like you can just save a shitload of money by buying it there. Yeah.
Or even on a smaller scale, like maybe the buttons on a button down shirt will be off by like a centimeter or something. Like something you can't tell.
Exactly. 100%.
But they can't sell it to like a high end retail store.
Yep. So
they sell it to TJ Maxx. And if you were to sell it online, nobody has any idea. Like, it's not something you can notice with it, you know?
Yeah. By the way, that's another thing that people were. I didn't mention it during the Q&A, but one of the questions was, "Can you buy a fucking coat that fits you, you asshole?"
Why, your coats don't fit?
Nah, most of them don't. No, most of them don't. No.
That's just something that you could like say yes to that. Like how you can agree to me asking you that question right now.
No,
like,
of course.
They don't fit.
It's not like they fit really shitty. There's one that fits pretty shitty, but all the other ones, like the other 6 or 7, I don't even have that many, but like the other 6 or 7, they like some of them fit, but probably 80% of them don't fit. They're either a little on the small side or a little on the big side.
Fuck people for even like that. If that's what
I hear them. They're like they're trying to, they're trying to look out and be like, dude, make it look a little bit like, like maybe just give it that little bit, that little touch, that little.
Yeah, but the thing I respect about you is like you don't. That's not what you're about. Like,
yeah, it's about the show. It's about the substance. But I'm sure the people who posted that, they agree that it's about that.
To fuck with you on though.
Nah, I don't blame them. I mean, they're right, because it's not like I haven't thought of that before. Like, damn, I really should get. I don't like. Have you ever seen? I'm sure you have. Of course you have. A really good tailored fitted jacket on a dude, a coat on a dude.
100%.
And it makes it look like 3 times as good. Like if I'm wearing a nice fitted one that was really tailored to me, it's just automatically like, damn, what the fuck? Like that. Even if it's not a good looking jacket in terms of the design, it becomes good looking because it's fitting so well. So it's true that the jacket, the coat, it should fit. But I don't, it is what it is. Maybe I'll do 1 or 2 at some point.
But I don't think I would go out of my way where I would be like, hey, he's wearing some jacket that's really throwing me off on this video right now.
No, and I don't think they think that. Well, certainly 99% of the audience doesn't think that. But there are some that I literally bought on Amazon. Where I was like, okay, we're going to go with this one here. Like I know my size, the length of the sleeves and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we'll go with this. And then I order it and it comes in the fucking mail and I didn't even wear it before I put it on.
I'm at a point now where I don't care what the fuck I wear.
What do you have to wear to work?
Yeah, just a polo shirt or something like that.
Shirt? That's not that bad.
Yeah, and I pulled the polo. Like I wore a white polo shirt the other day. I pulled it straight out of the dryer. It was wrinkly as fuck.
They didn't care, right?
But I was just on some. I don't care. And someone even said something like, "Your shirt's mad wrinkly," and I was just like,
"So."
Like, yeah, so.
Yeah, my facial hair has gotten to that point too. I actually just buzzed it up a little bit before I came on here, but it was getting
to the clean.
Well, I shave like once every 2 weeks or something now. I'm just on some lazy shit.
Yeah. I won't. Yeah, I won't get to a point like my shirt was clean. It just was a little wrinkly. I won't get to a point where like someone's like, "Oh, he looks like something's going on right now." Like. If your beard was a little like disheveled and you got on air and your hair was fucked up and like your shirt was untucked and you had the wrong buttoned and people would be like, something's weird. But if your jacket's a little big or like, like something that it's just like, okay, that's normal, whatever.
Yeah. You know who else has that problem too, by the way? Trump. People always shit on Trump because Trump, the whole campaign, he was wearing like coats that didn't fit him.
Oversized jackets.
Yeah, they didn't fit him.
I know his ties were always extra long.
Well,
I don't know.
He
if
always
that's
wears it like that because he's a douche. He wears the long ass ties.
Speaking of that motherfucker, did you see the Puerto Rico? He was like shooting baskets with.
I was
like,
gonna say I saw two things.
Towel?
I saw two things. One was that he's taking toilet paper and like
jump shotting it
into the audience. It's like, dude, these people fucking lost their homes, and you're like fucking around. But then the other one I saw.
Do with paper towels.
What did he say? He said some fucking crazy shit too. Oh, about the budget. He's like, the people of Puerto Rico, I hate to tell you, but you really drained the budget here. We're not gonna like he said something like that. It's like, what the fuck did you just say? Oh, these people lost their homes and fucking.
I can't even with him. Like, he's not like, to me, he's just someone who. Yeah, I mean, he is the president. You have to acknowledge him as the president. But like, I don't even like deal with what he's doing. You know, it's just like he's just a dude that gets coverage. You know.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it is true that it feels like he's not the president because he's just such a child. Like he did a press conference in Puerto Rico today where. He was basically like asking everybody for compliments again. Like he's sitting around with a politician from Puerto Rico who was one of the few ones who was like not shitting on him and saying, fucking do more. So he was sitting with that person, sitting with like some people from FEMA, and he was going around and like, look, we're doing a tremendous job. It's unbelievable. And what I want to do is I want to bring in this person here and go ahead, say a few words. How's the job been so far? It's been tremendous, hasn't it? And it's like, yo, stop it. You're fucking making this shit about you and doing this show. Like, this is a really serious thing happening. And then another thing he did is he was like asking, how many people died? There was only 16 people died. In Katrina, there were thousands. Like, he's like bragging about the fact that there are fewer deaths. But by the way, we don't even know if that's true yet because I read an article the other day, 2 days ago, where they said, well, we don't know the real death count yet in Puerto Rico because the government workers who like basically do the death certificates and do all the paperwork to, you know, approve a death, they haven't showed up for work because of the fucking 93% of the island has no power and roads still aren't totally cleared and like... So people aren't there to, like, approve the deaths. And he's like, we've only had 16 deaths. Yeah, because nobody's fucking counting it and really taking a real tally of it yet. So, like, it's not good.
I try to think about, like, not if I was in a disaster like that, but, like Puerto Rico should all hate Trump. But he still goes down there, and all these people taking pictures of him, and they're like so fascinated by him, even as he's doing that like whole like the paper towel, like throwing it out into the stand. They're taking pictures. They all still seem like they're smiling and just like
they
fascinated by him.
People.
You think so, right?
Yeah, it's a totally controlled environment. It's like, it is, right? You know, if you see, honestly, it's the same thing. If you see any fucking Middle East dictatorship. And they're surrounded by people who are, like, giving them praise. It's because those are the fucking handpicked people who are going to give you the praise. Like, it's a very controlled environment. You think Trump is really down there in any random place handing out food, like scooping food for people? No, like, this is all the people who are there, people who are already pre-vetted, and they come in and, you know, that's what it is. So, it's fucked up. And the thing, I mean, I'm sure you saw what happened in fucking Vegas, right?
Man, that was sad.
And that's one of my favorite places on earth. I know it's one of your favorite places on 100%.
Earth, too. It's just, it's sad. It's scary. It's unfortunate. You feel bad for, like, the families and the people at the concert. But it's just, like, you go to sleep now, and honestly, I check my phone every morning, you know, and whether it's bad, probably because I'll check, like, social media, and I'll check Twitter just to see what's happening. But you don't know, like, you don't know what's going to happen every morning. And it's just like something's topping the next thing. Like it was Sandy Hook. It
wasn't this, when we were kids, it wasn't this bad.
Oh, it was never this bad.
There was Columbine when we were young. I remember that.
But that was scary as shit.
But that happened, and then it was a long break before the next mass shooting happened.
Well, the next thing that scared me, I think, was the Aurora shooting, right? With the Batman? Or was there something before?
There might have been one before that or something. But it was Columbine was like this lone one that was like this big thing. That was like a cultural changing event where everybody was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
Columbine happened. And that was the big thing when we were young. And it was like, damn, that one crazy incident where that one dude killed people. And now we have
Virginia Tech was something.
Virginia
that I
Tech
remember
might have been
too.
the next one or something, or the Aurora one, whatever it was. But there was a big gap. It was like
Yeah.
nothing, Columbine, nothing. And then now, fucking boom.
Yeah.
It's like every month there's
That's what I'm saying. But it's not even every
gigantic-
month there's something. It's every month there's something that's
even
like
worse, yeah.
historically topping the next thing that was just historic.
Yeah.
Which is just, oof, man, it's crazy.
59
and
dead, over 500 injured. That's basically a dude perched up in a hotel sniping people out one by one. Like
what I
on
don't
some
get
horror
is like,
movie shit.
you work at the hotel, like, how many bags can this fucking guy bring in before you're just like, oh, what's in this heavy ass bag that this guy's bringing in?
Yeah, it is, and they do say Vegas is one of the most like highly videotaped places because it's Vegas. So like really the casino and they just said, I just saw on Twitter before we came on here, he apparently had lost multiple like $12,000 bets in the week leading up to it. Like he was in Vegas and he's a big time gambler and he lost a shitload.
You're telling me you knock out the windows at the Mandalay Bay, there's no alarms or craziness that goes off, that you just broke a hotel window?
Yeah, right?
Like, I mean, it's after the fact now, so it's crazy to think about, but like, there's just so many what the fuck, man, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not a concert goer, you know, but my wife broke it down to me a little bit, and I was just like, this is going to deter people from going to concerts and being in big crowds. She was like, yeah, but you go to sporting events and you're in crowds that way. That's the same thing.
No, it's funny you say that because I thought about that. I was at the President's Cup on Saturday, and I had thought about it. I was like, okay, I'm going to the President's Cup. It's just outside of the city. Like with the World Trade Center where it was in the backdrop.
Yeah, you sent me a video. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, like that is a prime spot where somebody really wanted to do some shit. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? That's the thing, is if it's terrorism because they're trying to terrorize you and deter you from like living a normal life, you know? But it does seem these kinds of things, whether it's terrorism or mass shooting or whatever it is is disproportionately so common. In the U.S., the mass shooting one is disproportionately common in the U.S. I should be clear. Yeah.
But it's just it's so funny to me how, like, no one says terrorist.
Well, this guy, to be fair, this guy was not a terrorist because the definition of terrorism is it has to be for a political or religious reason. And he was just a dude who was killing people. There was no manifesto. There was no, this is to free fucking this place or that place, or this is because I'm a fucking Mormon and I want to spread it. So it's not, he wasn't a terrorist. But you're right, but your general sentiment is right, because Dylan Roof, who was a terrorist, who left a fucking manifesto, who said, I'm doing this because I believe in white supremacy and I'm a neo-Confederate and fuck black people and white people are superior and I believe in the racist state of Rhodesia and all that shit. The media did not call him a terrorist. They didn't even bring him up on terrorism charges, which is crazy. Like, if that guy's not a terrorist, then just admit that you only use the term terrorism when it's a Muslim person. Just admit it.
Yeah, but
because
the articles that say, like, you know, out of the ordinary, the guy liked fishing, he liked swimming.
Yeah. I can't stand that garbage.
Like, what?
People were doing comparisons between how they treated this guy versus, like, Tamir Rice.
I saw that. Like, I think you retweeted.
If you dress like a thug, you're going to get treated like a thug or something. About Tamir Rice, a child who was murdered, okay? And compared to this guy, and it was like you said, like, he liked fishing and fucking this and that, and he lived a quiet life before the incident. It's like, how the fuck are you wording it like this?
And there was an article that the gun store that sold him all the guns was like, I didn't see any red flags. The guy would just come in here all the time and just buy guns. He seemed like a normal guy. Like
that is a red flag right there. How many guns did he fucking have?
That's
1,000?
I think the guy was quoted as saying he's been in here about 50,000 times.
Oh.
Like, okay, yeah, the guy comes in that much. There's no fucking red flag.
What was the final number? The final number of the guns he had in the room was preposterous. It was like over 19 or some shit.
I don't get it, man. I looked at the NRA's Twitter account today and it was just like no mention of anything in Vegas. They're still just tweeting bullshit out, just like, lady protects her house in North Carolina because she had a gun.
That's
And
their
a lot of people have said this shit. It's just like there's no good stories of anybody with all these crazy massive guns that you can turn to and be like, oh, he had 25 assault rifles and he saved the world. Like,
he saved the
no,
world. There's a massive propaganda effort from those people to basically argue, no, everything is safer because we're armed to the teeth. And the reality is, when you look at every other modern nation that has, strict gun control, whether or not you agree with it is irrelevant. Like, for everybody listening right now, whether or not you agree with gun control, just put that aside for a second completely. Pretend we're not talking opinions here by any stretch of the imagination. So just doing an objective analysis, the U.S. versus other modern nations. Compare to Japan, compare to Australia. They have really strict gun control in Japan and Australia. And in Japan, they're just almost fucking banned. Guns are banned. And they literally have, like, no mass shootings. And the number of people that die there per year from guns is like fucking 1, 2. The U.S., 33,000 every year die from gun violence. That's homicides, that's suicides, that's accidents, that's everything. But the reason why is because we just have so many of them laying around. Like, there's over like 15 people die every year because toddlers accidentally kill them with guns. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
so divorcing what your opinions on gun control are, that's just the reality of it, that if you have a lot of guns around, you're more likely to die from guns. And that's something that is basically like, you're not allowed to say that in NRA circles without them bringing up just a whole bunch of bullshit counter arguments like the one you just mentioned of like, but there was this attempted robbery in fucking in Mississippi or in Wyoming and some dude chased him off with a Ruger 22. Doesn't matter how many of those examples you give. The facts I just gave, that's the fucking trump card. 33,000 gun deaths in the U.S. because we have a zillion guns everywhere. Virtually none in every other modern nation. Less than 100 in the other modern nations. So the fact, like, there's some things, though, that, like, everybody agrees we should do, but we still don't do because politicians are doing the NRA's bidding. And that's, like, universal background checks. Like, it should be, everybody should agree. I don't care where you live or what your opinions are on this. I think everybody should agree with just treating guns like a serious thing that it shouldn't be just casual to get. Like, even if you're in favor of getting them, like it being legal to go buy them, shouldn't there be like a licensing system, and shouldn't there be a process you have to go through, and shouldn't 100%. It be like some official thing, and everybody agrees with universal background checks, and most people agree with limiting high capacity magazines. Like, aren't there just basic regulations that would make sense? And, I think most people agree with that according to the polls, but we don't get that because the NRA pays the Republicans and they block every single
I think it was Jimmy
it.
Kimmel put up like 30
on
different.
The show the other night.
He was crying, and
he's from Vegas. That's why.
Yeah, but he put up a picture of like 30 different politicians that were
all NRA money. I'm gonna do that show, but that story tomorrow.
Yeah, but literally just bought out by the NRA,
100%, 100%. And they're not expensive either. It's some small ass fucking congressional race in Louisiana or some shit. You could buy that motherfucker for $3,000. NRA gives you $3,000, and that dude will never, ever, ever vote for any piece of gun safety reform, even if it's a background check. Nope, he got paid by the NRA.
Sad, just because it's just like you're so phony. You're such a sellout. You have no morals, nothing.
Yeah. Well, did you see that after this happened, one of the drummers, I think it was, on stage for this concert, this event, it was like a country music concert, and the guy who was
Vegas?
And the guy who was like a drummer came out after this happened and was like, that's it. Like, I've been a big time supporter of the Second Amendment my entire life. Not anymore. What I saw was just unbelievably grotesque.
Like, it shouldn't take that, It's just like...
Well, I know, but that's the thing. You're right. Like, it shouldn't take that because
that's what happens
if this guy looks at the numbers, I just told you, fucking 33,000 people every year die, is that this dude saw it right in front of his fucking eyes what happened. And he was like, oh, shit.
You know,
Well,
that happens when a politician has a gay son or a
exactly.
lesbian
Oh,
daughter.
no, gay marriage. I like gay marriage now. I'm in favor of gay marriage now.
You know,
Yeah.
it should just be common sense, dude. Like, you don't need to have a mass shooting where you see someone die in front of you and you realize someone doesn't need this automatic assault rifle and all this shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I don't like have respect for that guy to come out now and be like, oh, now I'm gonna switch my stance on this shit. Nah, fuck you, man. You should have had that stance before.
Yeah.
This is just common sense. And then all these people that are arguing like, oh, don't talk about gun violence the day after it happened.
That's exactly when you're supposed to talk about it. Yeah.
When the fuck can you talk about it?
And by the way, that's the same, like after a terror attack, those are the same people who will immediately be like, let's discuss who to invade and what to do.
Yeah. Let's go to war.
Yeah, like you love to politicize something when you're politicizing it for your positions. But when somebody says, hey, this is a good time to discuss this issue, you go, no, because that issue I'm not on board with. And that's, look, I was tweeting about that the other day, just so everybody knows. Whenever anybody says don't politicize X, whatever it may be, on the left or the right, just know that that's a dumb point to make because literally everything is political. There's not a single thing that's not political. Where you send your kids to school, the water you drink, the products you buy, the drugs you do, you know, and whatever it may be, it 100% is political. Because there are going to be people telling you, if you're gay, I don't want you to get married. You know, if you smoke weed, I don't want you smoking weed. If, you know, your commute to work, you fucking got a flat tire because there's a pothole, they're going to people say, I don't want my tax money to go to fixing that pothole. So, like, everything is fucking political. So when somebody says, oh, don't politicize X. No, it's already political. So I'm just taking a position on it that you don't like, which is why you're telling me not to politicize it. It's already politicized. I'm just giving my opinion and it disagrees with yours, which is why you're saying, no, that's off the table. Don't discuss it. So, yeah, that's annoying.
How do you feel about when they always go and find like this mass shooter's like his brother in Florida or something like that?
What I was amazed by is how fast they found that motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying.
Like the shooting happened at night, and at like 8 o'clock in the morning, they're talking to the dude in his driveway. Like, what the fuck?
They always do this. Every shooting or everything, they find the family member or something.
That guy was funny though. The brother was funny. Did you see?
I didn't listen.
I read some of his comments. They were pretty funny. He was just like, man, he didn't do nothing. He just sat around. They're like, so did he have any political or religious? He's like, nah, he just ate burritos.
But it's just weird to me to like see the brother of like this guy who just did this fucking heinous crime, you know? And it's just like to see him stand in his driveway, like
it's weird. But most of the time, those people are like, fuck that person, like fuck my brother, like fuck him. Or the dad sometimes when it happened one time before, the dad was like, I hope he dies, fuck him.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot who it was for.
I think that was the Boston bomber guy.
Oh, yeah,
When one of the kids died, the other one was on trial or something. He's like, fuck him. I hope he dies, asshole.
But I don't know. That's so weird. It just shows that, like, all security measures probably go out the window. They're probably just like, look where the fuck his brother lives. Like, find his whole family. And they just, like, do whatever they can to find where his family members live.
Yeah, the media is fucking ruthless. Probably knocking on the window at 6 a.m. Like,
Yep.
Come talk to us. Look at what your brother did.
But damn, man, it's just like the Vegas one was that was crazy.
The numbers are even worse than the Pulse nightclub one. I remember that one. Remember that one? That one was like, oh my God, the number of people. I forget the exact number, but I remember watching the coverage going, oh. Just a guy went into a fucking gay nightclub and just killed everybody in sight, basely.
And
but this was worse than that.
See the footage and like, I follow this guy on Instagram, like Dan Blazieren. He's like he goes out with all these models and all this stuff. And he was at the event, and you see him running away from the thing, and you hear the gunshots in the background.
At first, people thought it was just fireworks.
I know,
and
man.
When they saw bodies hitting the pavement, they were like, "What?"
It's wild, man. It's sad. It's crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But.
All right.
What other questions did you get?
That's it, man. Well, that's all I jotted down. Everything else I answered and then posted on YouTube.
Oh, true.
But those are the ones I wanted to ask you. Trap's gay.
Yeah, that one was weird. I thought I literally might have seen that question on like your Twitter or something, and I was just like,
dude,
"Are traps gay?" I was like, "No, traps. Like people work on their traps all the time."
No, not those traps. Those traps.
I didn't know that's a debate thing that people are talking about.
That was a big debate. That was a huge debate.
I saw the Rogan thing, and then I saw like I had to wait like 9 minutes before you answered that fucking question.
Yeah. I
for
tried
me.
to put the thing in some like answers at this
Yeah. That I
timestamp or
saw.
whatever.
I think on Facebook it said that on one of the videos.
Yeah.
That was good.
By the way, to everybody, because some people were like saying in the comments like, "Oh, let's all tweet him or post on his Instagram to get Kyle on." Don't do that because he mentioned one time how that's the guaranteed way to never get on his show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't tell. There was one time way back in the day that I told the audience, like, go tell him to invite me on or whatever. And he probably saw that and was like, fuck you. But this time I didn't do it. I didn't mention that. But some people were saying, like, oh, let's go try to get him to invite Kyle on. And that doesn't work with him. He just has to be interested in what you fucking talk about and stuff.
I mean, he should be. Like,
I mean, he's a busy dude. He's not exactly waiting around all day for specific secular talk videos. But yeah, it would be a good conversation, I think. The way that one of the people who asked the question was like, I want you to go on his show because I feel like he's so malleable that he would be progressive after one conversation with you. But look, to a certain extent, that's kind of what Joe does, is that whoever his guest is, he'll flow and vibe with that guest. And if the guest happens to be somebody like fucking Gavin McInnes or Jordan Peterson, then he's going to be more right-leaning. And if it's somebody...
Or the other guy who does what's the InfoWars guy?
Alex Jones. That was funny. That was like a legendary podcast with the crazy shit Alex Jones said. But if he talks to somebody like Abby Martin, he'll be more left-leaning. So that's just kind of what he does. So, but whatever. It's all good.
The dude who makes the cartoons, who did the 500,000, I keep watching that damn video of just, I think your hands are like going back and forth.
He's done 2 or 3 of them. I haven't seen any. When he releases newer ones, I'll tweet them out. But
tell him to make one of me. I want one of those shits.
Oh, he's got to make one of Kyle and Corin. Careful, you wish more. He just might.
I want
draw
one
it.
of those motherfucking things.
He just might draw it. Yeah.
Although our animation shit will probably look exactly alike.
No, it'll look a little different. Right? It's got to. But
Tell him to make one of those motherfucking things.
Does my little animation look like me? Looks a little bit like
so.
me.
I love when he posts. That guy's great. He does like.
There's a lot of talented people, man, that listen to secular talk. Leon, who does all the. So I made the first. I don't even know how many. Probably not that many. Come to think of it, 3, 4, 5, whatever it was. Kyle out of context ones, where it's just me saying crazy shit out of context. And then Leon basically took it over. He would. I got to ask him exactly, but I think what he'll do is he'll listen to the show, and when he sees a moment that is like, oh, I'm going to add that to out of context, he will jot down like, this clip at this timestamp, and then he'll go through it and he'll clip out all the spots, put them together, and then he now does all the out of context ones, and he does it. Better than I could even do it. Like, he's, become the master of making the out-of-context ones.
Yeah.
And I think there was maybe one other person who tried to do it, but it's one of those things, even if Leon will probably tell you, too, like, he probably feels like the first 2 or 3 he made weren't as good as the ones after that, because it requires a little bit of practice. Like, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you get better as you do it.
Yeah, right. The more you do it, the more you cut out the meat that shouldn't be there, and you leave the parts that are really like the bam, like hit him with the weirdness. Yeah.
I had one of your fans, or not fans, one of your listeners, wrote to me on Twitter a message. I think it was the dude who you were saying had been to New York or something like that, or was talking on the last podcast. We were talking about someone you said who was talking about the difference between New York and Texas or some shit. That dude wrote to me.
What he said?
It was just like, I could relate to how when the dude walked up to you at the gas station and started talking, because people do that to me all the time and all this stuff, and then started talking about like shooting guns and how I didn't like doing. I was just like, I never shot a gun before and I have no interest in doing that. And he was just like, dude, you should try it. I was just like, nah, I'm good.
That's Texas, man. I've shot guns before. I think I've discussed that. You know that, right?
I didn't know that.
Oh, really? I feel like I've spoken about that before on the show.
I don't think I knew that. I never.
My dad was a little.
Oh, yeah, your dad was a hunter. Yeah,
he was like a little. He had a little bit of country in him because he, his dad had a place that's like an hour and a half upstate.
His first name was Buck.
That's what everybody called him. Everybody called my dad Buck, but his birth name was Albert Kolinsky.
Okay.
Yeah, but his
I always knew him by Buck. I didn't know
yeah,
if
everybody called him Buck. That was his
okay.
nickname from when he was a baby.
That's a gangster ass name. Like
His
names
real
be
name was
called.
Albert Joseph Kalinsky. That was his full name, but everybody called him Buck. Yeah.
Yeah, Buck was. Is that because of?
Yes, because his dad or something was like a big hunter.
Okay.
And like the first time he saw his son, this is some country shit. The first time he saw his son, he was like, "It's a good buck right there," or some shit. And
That's
they were
gangster.
like, "That's it. That's his nickname. His nickname's Buck."
That's
so everybody
so
called
awesome.
him Buck. But
That's so awesome.
yeah, he had his dad. So my grandfather had a farm thing up north from where I grew up, and he would go. They go there like every weekend or every other weekend. And so he would do like hunting and fishing and shit. And he was like a kind of little bit of country in that respect. But he took me from when I was young. I had shot guns. I did some target practice. I never killed an animal with a gun, but I did target practice. I did target shooting.
And how are you with that? Because
I was good, man. I was good. He was a good teacher. Like
is there recoil on the gun?
100%.
I think my brother one time.
And you start out small. You go with like a 22, which is a not powerful rifle, and
Yeah.
he taught me the way to do it. So you hold the barrel firm up against your shoulder, because if you don't hold it firm, it's gonna kick and it's gonna fucking hurt you. You hold it firm up against your shoulder, and the way he described it to me was you want to gently squeeze the trigger so that you don't know when it's gonna go off. In other words, you don't go like that. You don't like jerk that.
Yeah.
No pun intended. You don't jerk it. You just slowly squeeze the trigger so you don't know when it's going to go off. And if you hold it tight and slowly squeeze it and your hands are steady, you're going to hit the target. And so I did that. I also had gotten my boating license when I was younger. Like I got my license.
That seems a little bit more normal than.
Well, it was
Know,
weird.
to me, just shooting the gun is not. It's not anything that's in my realm. I don't. Did you get a rush from it?
I enjoyed target shooting. Sure, I did. I enjoyed it. We would take these like fucking old Clorox, whatever, bleach things, fill them up with water, go out there, depending on what kind of gun we're shooting, 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, whatever it was, put it out there, and then we'd target shoot. And it was kind of fun. He was big on safety, though. I mean, you're not that safe if fucking 14-year-old kid is shooting a gun and you're letting him shoot a gun. That's really not safe.
Yeah.
But he was big on like you never, even when there's nothing in the chamber or anything, have the safety on. You never point the tip of the barrel at anybody ever.
Yeah.
He was big on all that shit. And for the boating thing, I was young and I got I think it was my captain's license. Like I was technically able to captain a boat. I passed my test. I don't know how long that thing lasts. It definitely expired. But I don't remember anything from that. But there was a time when I was technically able to be like a captain of a boat. How crazy is that?
Crazy.
I know.
Was there no age limit on driving a boat?
It's either there wasn't an age limit or there was a limit and I was that age.
Oh, okay.
Like they said, at age 14 you can.
But it's younger than maybe driving.
It was young. I remember being young. I don't know how young, but I was fucking young.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah,
I'm not wild like that at all. I never did any of that. I was just
gonna say, you guys made me go deep into my memory bank there because I barely had those memories there. But when you mentioned guns, you started talking about guns. I shot him when I was a kid. Sure.
Yeah, never once. The dude asked me, and I was just like, I have no interest. I wasn't even into Nerf guns. Like that wasn't even my shit.
Really? I was a little bit of kind of like a typical asshole, like little boy, where I was like big into
Were you into
army
paintballing?
movies. Not paintballing. I never did paintball. Well, I did paintballing once or twice, but I didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
But I liked like the army movies and stuff, like military movies when I was a kid,
Really?
and played with those little soldier dolls and shit.
Yeah.
And like I had fake toy guns. Like back in the day, if I was a little black kid, I'd already be dead because I'm serious, because I ran around my little neighborhood with a fake gun. But I had a bunch of fake guns. One of the fake guns was like a fake gun that was passed down from my grandfather or some shit. It was like some 1950s fake gun. It looked real as fuck. Now I'm running around my neighborhood with that shit. If I was a little black kid, they would have called the cops and it would be a wrap. That's fucking what happened to Tamir Rice. He got a toy gun, he's running around and he gets killed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's They made a great law. And by the way, this goes to show you like how important government can be. Is that they made this really great law. I don't know if it was a federal law or if it was just in New York, but they mandated giant orange tips for guns, for toy guns, so that it's right away when you look, like that's a fake gun. It's got the big ass orange tip. And then if I'm not mistaken, some states went even further and said any fake gun at all, not just the tip, the whole gun has to be like fucking bright orange or hot pink or some shit.
Yeah, they should do some shit like that.
Yeah, just to make sure, man, to be on the safe side. You know?
Fuck.
But all right, we can wrap it up, skis. Hour and 30 minutos. Did the Yankees win?
They're up 7-4 still. Bottom of the sixth, so still some time to watch.
Bottom of the sixth. Okay, sounds good. All right, guys, we love you. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
You know